Yeah, I know. I just say shit. What's going on with him? What's going on with this kid?
The Quintessential Quintuplet's gotta be the only romance anime I have ever seen where the fanbase has been divided into 5 factions. 5 borderline gang-affiliated groups, all supporting either Miku, Yotsuba, Nino, Itsuki, or Ichika.
Not fire
Like,
gang
bro, these
affiliated
guys are really
groups.
ready to die behind their choice. There was really a time where if you were caught lacking being pro-Yotsuba, the Nino and Miku defenders would have spoken about you like these.
I'll be honest with you. All I wanted to do to him, yeah, and this was all I was going to do, I was going to chop his hands off, chop his feet off, and blind him.
The only other pieces of media I can even think of where the fandom was as divided as this is probably the GOAT debates in sports with Messi and Ronaldo, or maybe Jordan and LeBron James. Now, I already know this comment section is about to be a war zone, with people talking
Yeah,
about Shakespeare,
he about to set something off.
and I'm completely ready for it. I'm gonna be reading every single one. Anyways, for some reason, the Quintessential Quintuplets memes have been hounding my For You page these last couple of days, so I decided we may as well cover it. So let's cut the yapping and get straight into the meat and potatoes. The episode starts with our main character, Itoshi Rin? Bro got benched one time and decided to become the main character of a harem anime. Futaro is ordering something that can only be described as a struggle meal. This is the food the lowest ranked members in Blue Lock be eating.
Nothing like saltwater soup. And I got sugar water for dessert. I'm going all out tonight.
Turns out Futaro is dirt poor.
Yeah.
Broke as hell. I'm not sure if he could even go band for band with Denji right now. He goes to look for seating when he runs into Karma's cousin. They start arguing over who found the table first, but they are both too stubborn to move, so they just sit at the table together. Her name is Itsuki, and she's a certified eater. Like I swear, it's actually one of the main character tropes. I gotta see her, Luffy, and Goku in one of them food challenges. Anyways, Futaro is extremely academically gifted when Itsuki says she struggled with school stuff, so asks him to help her out. She even offers to buy him food in exchange. Seems like a pretty solid deal if you ask me.
You fat, stinking, and you ugly.
That wasn't exactly what he said, but he did basically say that she's gonna get fat if she keeps eating like Nikocado avocado. He dips out when he gets a phone call from his sister saying his dad found him a part-time job that will help him pay for the family's
skinny
debt.
now?
He will become
What
a
you
tutor
talking
for
about?
this extremely rich family when it's
Oh,
revealed that
Ozempic
the
works.
person he's gonna be tutoring is the girl that he called fat earlier. Had my boy flabbergasted. That's why I always say kindness costs nothing and it goes a long way. He tries to mend the relationship because he doesn't want to miss out on the bag, but that's when he gets borderline jumped by a bunch of Beyblade protagonists with different hair colors. Ichika tries to talk to him because she thinks that he has a crush on Itsuki, whilst Yotsuba tries to talk to him after also finding out he got 100 on the test. Fast forward and he's still trying to find an opportunity to apologize to Itsuki when Miku catches bro lacking and almost calls the police on him. And you know what? I don't even blame her. When I went to Japan, I witnessed like 5 incidents of actual harassment and stalking in the streets, and the people just acted like it was completely normal, like it was just an everyday occurrence. I was baffled.
What?
All the way. Witnessed like 5 incidents of actual harassment and stalking in the streets, and the people just acted like it was completely normal, like it was just an everyday. I tried to talk to him after also
Run it back
finding out he
again.
got 100 on the test. Fast forward and he's
Hold
still
up.
trying to find an opportunity to apologize
What?
to Itsuki when Miku catches bro lacking and almost calls the police on him. And Yotsuba tries to talk to him after also finding out he got 100 on the test. Fast forward and he's still trying to find an opportunity to apologize to Itsuki when Miku catches bro lacking and almost calls the police on him. And you know what? I don't even blame her. When I went to Japan, I witnessed like 5 incidents of actual harassment and stalking in the streets, and the people just acted like it was completely normal, like it was just an everyday occurrence. I was
That's
baffled.
bad.
He follows her all the way home.
That's bad.
Miku and Nino step in,
That's
stopping bro,
really
asking
bad.
what he's doing at their apartment. Instead of just having a normal conversation, he hits the jets and runs after Itsuki. He ends up telling her that he's her new tutor, which had her drop to her knees as if she just found out someone close to her died. She's damn near on the verge of cardiac arrest as she says no way he's gonna be our tutor, as the 4 other girls that been playing Wembenyama level defense on him walk out the elevator. Yes, they are indeed quintuplets, and Futaro has been tasked with tutoring 5 Patrick Star level idiots. Like no joke, these guys are dumb as bricks, brains smooth as butter, Billy from Billy and Mandy level of idiocy. He tries to get the study session going, but they really ain't going for that. Yotsuba is the only one showing any interest, so decides to help bro out. Itsuki still ain't interested, Miku thinks bro's a creep, Nino ain't even home, and Ichiki is overly freaked out, like for no reason. After some convincing, he manages to get 4 out of the 5 quintuplets to the study session. You know, besides his bro's a creep, Nino ain't even home, and Ichiki is overly freaked out, like for no reason. After some convincing, he manages to get 4 out of the 5 quintuplets to the study session. You know, besides having the combined IQ of Seuss from Gravity Falls, they honestly aren't bad people.
Bro.
Nino was even so kind to bring bro some food and water.
These people are fucking dangerous. They are not any people to just to play around with.
Yeah, this absolute S-Def levels. Besides having the combined IQ of Zeus from Gravity Falls, they honestly aren't bad people. Nino was even so kind to bring both some food and water.
She poisoned him?
These people are fucking dangerous. They are not any people to just to play around with.
Yeah, this absolute S-Def level psychopath decided to poison bro just so she didn't have to study. This is the type of creativity people would be on during the pandemic to make sure they didn't have to do any work during online classes. They put bro in a cab and sent him home, but Itsuki actually went with him and covered the bill. You know what, she's low-key a W, and if you think about it, she would have happily cooperated if he didn't call her fat for pretty much no reason. She tells him to give up on being their tutor, but he says he can't when his little sister Raiha comes out, curious about his new student. She invites Itsuki over for dinner, and it's become more and more evident that these guys are truly living in the trenches, out here living like Baki Hanma. They eat their curry, but as she's about to leave, Raiha asks Itsuki to tolerate her arrogant and bad-mannered big brother. Hey, call me crazy, but Raiha might be an Ayana Koji level manipulator. She really knew Futuro was gonna somehow mess up the bag, so she decided to intervene. You can't fool me. I know your secret. You're the mastermind behind this show. Anyways, it seems to have worked out for now, and Itsuki seems to be happy to tolerate him. All he has to do is make sure they graduate, and his job is basically done. It's the next day, and he gets all of them to take a test, and even tells them that if they manage to pass, he will never speak to any of them again. They lock in, and for a smooth second, they had me shook. But these guys are truly Yuji and Hikari level prospects, as the highest score was a 32 by Miku, and the lowest was an 8 by Yotsuba.
He was whipping up shit in a kettle, boiling shit.
Actual shit, like
Boiling poo in a kettle. Bro, the smell. Mike, the smell.
boiling shit.
In a kettle, bro.
Futuro realizes this is going to be a lot more difficult than he expected when he gets a letter from Miku telling him to meet her on the rooftop. They have this
While I'm
whole
eating, bro.
tense, wind-freezing,
While I'm eating.
12-episode
Come
anime
on.
moment. Had
Come
me
on,
thinking
bro.
we got our first confession, but nah, she's out here tweaking because she pretended not to know an answer. Anyways, long story short, she basically has this like secret hobby to do with the Sengoku era warlords or something like that. And this is the equivalent of finding out a girl you know is secretly goated on the sticks. Futuro tries to use this to his advantage to maybe get her to study, but even after all that, she's still ain't going for it and just skedaddles out
Sengoku
of there.
Basara?
Chases after
You
her,
mean to
and
say?
Miku uses transformation jutsu to impersonate Yotsuba, which actually works on Futuro. I think now is a good time to further elaborate on how alike these girls actually look. They are borderline indistinguishable. This is how they look to Futuro and inside the show. They only change the hair colors and the features to make it easier for the viewers. I can't blame bro for getting them mixed up, especially after only knowing them for like a week. They continue their Tom and Jerry chase across the entire school, and Futuro's knowledge on the Heian area is low-key beginning to impress Miku, as well as the fact that they are both exhausted. Anyhow, after they bond over old hairy men, Futuro goes on a whole speech as he comes to the realization that none of them got the same answers right on the test, meaning that if they work together, they can cover each other's weaknesses, which was seemingly enough for Miku to believe in him. Fast forward to the next day, and Futuro tries to get the Furious 5 all together for another study session, but Nino is working serious overtime to sabotage all his efforts. She manages to distract all of them except for Miku, so she decides to challenge her to a cook-off. Nino cooked some 5-star eats, whilst Miku made some bullshit. Futuro has to decide whose food is better, but bro's so used to eating unseasoned white rice that both of them taste good to him, and he's a better man than me. No way I'm eating the food of the girl who spiked my drink like half an episode ago. He goes home but forgot his jacket, so Miku lets him into the building while she's taking a shower, just for Nino to be drying her hair in the living room. Long story short, it's over. She doesn't realize it's him because she doesn't have her contacts in, so one thing leads to another as a classic anime moment happens. Itsuki catches them in the act as we get a whole Ace Attorney cutscene where they decide bro's faith. Man, Futuro a way better man than me. There's no way I'm dealing with all of this. First they drug me, and now I'm facing Diddy allegations? Alright bro. I've quit part-time jobs for less. I still remember when I was a Domino's delivery driver and my manager asked me to clean the toilets, so I quit the next day. I'm deadass still angry about that. To this day, he really tried to son me for no reason. Miku defends him and tells them that she let him in.
Bro, why you ain't just clean the toilet, bro?
When they realize that Futuro was only trying to save her from the falling books. W Miku. It seems like Nino has some sort of deep-rooted pent-up family problems that she seems to be taking out on Futaro. Futaro goes home to study when Itsuki goes to drop off his salary and damn, 50,000 yen for 2 days? That's like $300. $300 as a student is basically like 30k as an adult. Bro is rich. I remember back then I used to stretch 10 pounds for weeks. He tries to do the moral high ground gimmick, saying he can't accept the money since he didn't teach them anything, but Itsuki starts softening up to him, saying that she's actually pretty happy with him coming over all the time, since it's caused the bond between the sisters to grow closer. He decides to spend the money on his sister, so they basically have a mini date in the arcade together, since Raiha asked Itsuki to tag along.
So cute.
Hey, maybe Itsuki isn't so bad after all. I was starting to, lean towards Miku, but she's making a solid case for herself right now. As they are going home, they run into the other quintuplets, as Yotsuba asks Raiha if she wants to tag along to the fireworks festival. Yotsuba and Raiha really do have some crazy chemistry right now. The mastermind of the show is once again plotting something behind the scenes, I'm telling you.
All I have to do is get hitched with Wasuki one day, and we really would become sisters. We really would become sisters. And don't you get any ideas about Yotsuba, mister?
I won't. I won't.
Bro, what?
Titan level writing, we see that Nino and Futaro got lost together and ended up being the only ones to make it to the roof to see the fireworks. Watching the fireworks has been an important family tradition or something like that, so Futaro steps up and decides to help out Nino by finding all her sisters. Whilst trying to help her out, a bunch of anime nonsense happens, and Futaro calls the sisters his acquaintance, which makes Miku pretty upset. He also ends up finding Ichika, but she's hanging around this dodgy looking guy. Knowing me, I'd instantly assume the worst. Out here looking like Kenjaku. He can't be up to no good. Fast forward some more nonsensical nonsense, and Ichika pulls back up on Futaro and asks him to keep what he just saw a secret. Long story short, she's basically an actress, and that guy is some sort of like agent that's helping her land roles. Futaro managed to save Miku from the agent because he mistook her for Ichika, so he asked them what Futaro's relationship is to them, as he finally mans up and calls them his partner. Ichika is low-key a W man. She wants to pursue acting so she can finally be looked at as an older sister. Why do twins or triplets always like value those few seconds between their births? Like, you're like 2 minutes older than me, bro. Relax. Is it really that big of a deal? Anyways, after a cute little bonding moment, Ichika joins the agent for an audition, but it sadly means that she won't be able to go see the fireworks. That's when Futaro contacts the head honcho Raiha so she can relay the plan to Yotsuba. They all decided to meet up after the show finished to light their own fireworks together. And would you look at who's sleeping like nothing happened? Raiha. Yo, I'm telling you guys, I might sound crazy, but this little girl is an Iron Koji level threat. She's planning everything from the shadows. Anyways, all's well ends well. It really does seem like ever since Futaro came into their lives, their bond as sisters is starting to get closer. It reminds me of this other romance anime I watched a while back. I think it's called like Tying the Knot with an Akagami Sister. It's got like a similar premise. Fast forward a couple more days and they are now 1 week out from their midterms. All they gotta do is get above 30 to pass, but Futaro still hasn't been able to get all the girls to study together. Yotsuba, Ichika, and Miku are kinda trying. Nino still hates his guts, and Itsuki's Saiyan pride is not letting her cooperate with him. That's when Itsuki pulls up on him and gives him a phone to talk to their father. Yo, this man is out here moving like a One Piece villain, straight aura farming. We are halfway through the show and we haven't seen his face once. Who's bro feeding like? Emu? He gets right to business and basically tells Futaro if even one of his daughters failed the midterms, he'll lose his job as their tutor. Now that the pressure is at an all-time high, we realize that the lights might have been too bright, because just as Itsuki was slowly starting to open up to him again, he goes and ruins it all by yelling at her in public. This is insane. And he might be smart, but his people skills definitely need work. He's gonna stay overnight at the Nakano house to hopefully maximize the amount of studying they can get done. But whilst taking a bath, Nino pretends to be Itsuki so she can find out about the deal Futaro made with their dad. And yo, first she poisons him, and now she's using ST manipulation. All she has to do now is fail the exam and Futaro is chips. He's actually gonna have to start putting the fries in the bag. On the other side of things, it seems like Miku is completely falling in love with Futaro, to the point that she even asks him what his type is. Hell, even Yotsuba seems interested in finding that out. Ichika notices that Miku is interested in him and is playing like Michael Elise, trying to give her the perfect assist. Or so I thought, because if you use the blush scaling mechanic, you can clearly see that based on the amount of redness on Ichika's cheeks, she must have some feelings for bro on the low. After some more shenanigans, they go to bed as Futaro will sleep in Miku's room, but as she wakes up to get some water in the night, she accidentally woke back into her own room and fell asleep next to Futaro. Instead of just coming clean or, you know, just waking her up, he sneaks out and leaves Miku to sleep in her room alone. Low-key, a W play. If they found this out, they would have hung bro by his balls. Futaro tries to mend this relationship with Itsuki with another W assist from Ichika by pretending Itsuki is Miku. After they both drop the gimmick, they actually make up and she let Futaro teach him. How wholesome. Yo, I low-key wouldn't mind this relationship. It's healthy and real. Like, I'm gonna do my honest personal rankings at the end of the video. They wake up the next day and it's time for the midterms. After barely making it in time, they have a generational tuning exam level lock-in. The way they was flowing in their head, I thought they really cooked. But nah, they all failed all their subjects except for one, with all of them passing a different subject. But hey, at least they tried, I guess. It's better than last time. Futaro calls them all together and gives them a final speech, out here moving like Kamina from Gurren Lagann. That's when their father calls, and just as he's about to tell him the truth, the toxic light-skinned Nino snatches the phone and straight up lies to her dad, telling him that they didn't fail. I mean, technically she didn't lie, but you know, they didn't fail all their subjects, I guess. But damn, I did not expect that. She must have developed a soft spot for bro. I know Futaro is ecstatic, he gets to keep stacking his paper. Off topic though, but we do end up finding out that Futaro used to be a little badass kid. Word on the street is that he used to run around like them kids out of Tokyo Revengers, terrorizing the neighborhood until he met this one girl that changed his entire life. We cut back over to the Nakano household where Miku is experimenting with her cooking, creating straight Johnny Test meatloaf. This is the type of nonsense Plankton would have as an appetizer in the chum buckets. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Arby's releases this as a limited time item. Miku's croquettes. Them dookie nuggets ended up frying his stomach, so him and Yotsuba used it to their advantage to try and make sure the girls didn't leave the house. Yotsuba and Futaro are low-key a funny duo, always on some cartoonish timing. After they failed miserably because Yotsuba is a terrible liar, Futaro still thanks her for always helping him out and being the first person to accept him. That's when Yotsuba grabs him by the face and outright tells bro that the reason she does those things for him is because she likes him. What? Yo, this one had me flabbergasted. I knew they had a solid chemistry, but I didn't expect to just come out and say it, and I should have trusted my gut, because she said she was fooling him to prove that she could lie. And look at this pose, man. Oh my goodness. If a girl confessed to me like these, I'm making her my wife. I don't blame Futaro for feeling that way. This is the nastiest hezzy I've ever seen. They are preparing for some sort of end of semester school trip, so you already know a whole bunch of anime nonsense is gonna happen. Ichika sends bro on a side quest to get all the numbers
Of course my shit fell over.
Miku and Yotsuba are happy to give it to him, and Itsuki gives it to him too after he offers Raiha's phone number in exchange. Nino eventually folds too, but he forgot to take his notebook back, so the next day he goes to try and get it back, and she says she'll give it back to him if he helps her pierce her ears. Anyways, one thing leads to another, and she ends up seeing a picture of a young Futaro when she reveals that bad boys are actually her type. Instead of just saying it's him, he lies and says it's one of his relatives, so she asks him if he can set her up. But this is where the plot thickens, because as everything calms down, we see the full photo, as it turns out to be a picture with his first love and the girl that changed his life. But as we cut over to the quintuplets, we see them looking at old baby photos just to realize that the girl who changed Futaro's life is actually one of them, but we the viewer don't even know which one it is. They all look identical. Arguably like Attack on Titan. When this came out, you would have the dumbest guy you knew turning into L from Death Note trying to figure out which quintuplet met Futaro that day. We were in the cafeteria coming up with all types of theories trying to figure out which one it was. Futaro obviously doesn't know this, but this basically all but guarantees that one of these girls is bound to end up with him. It's the next day and Ichika approaches Miku asking her to cover him. She gives her a wig and we get to see a transformation jutsu in real time. I look feel like this would work on me. She literally looks identical. Anyways, she was supposed to just cancel plans for a class meeting, but this guy ended up confessing to her, and this gotta be the worst confession of all time. Oh my goodness, Valentine. Miku basically tells him he'll answer him later, but bro is moving super pushy. Luckily, Futaro was there to step in when Miku, dressed as Ichika, uses that opportunity to basically say that they are dating, and instead of just taking his L on the chin, he's still trying to apply pressure. Ref, do something. This gotta be a flagrant foul. He eventually backs off, so Futaro goes home to find out his sister Raiha is on 2 HP because she caught the flu. And you gotta ask yourself, is she really even ill, or is this another part of a master plan. From
Deploy.
what I hear, whenever girls get the flu,
Deploy.
they're going to be taking storm damage like that. It's mostly just physical injuries that takes them out of the game. Futuro decides to stay home and not go on this trip so he can look after his sister. W mans. But out of seemingly nowhere, Raiha seems completely fine, but it's too late because the bus already dipped, or so I thought, because Itsuki shows up at his house with the other Quints, forcibly taking him on the trip. Listen guys, I might sound like a schizophrenic Baki fan, but I'm onto something. Raiha is the mastermind, and to be honest, the Quints showing up to go get him is low-key kinda wholesome, I'm not gonna lie. Imagine having a friend that cares so much about you to the point that they would go this far for you over a school trip. I mean, them being rich definitely plays a part, but still, it's the thought that counts. They make it to the campsite and they somehow gotta share a room together, like what? I still remember when I went on a school camping trip back when I lived in the Netherlands, and they made sure there was no type of gender mixing. Anyhow, after we get our mandatory dose of anime Guna scenes, we see that it's very clear that
Anime
is
Guna
also
scenes.
slowly starting to develop a little something right now. This is truly the cursed love triangle equivalent of the Colin games, or maybe a love pentagon, you know, since there's 5, or technically a love hexagon since Futuro is included. Yo, let me stop, man. They do the usual school camp slice of life rigmarole, but during the test of courage, it's clear that Miku is slowly starting to realize she does in fact like Futuro, because she seems to get jealous whenever Ichika gets close to him. Itsuki and Nino end up getting so scared they get lost in the woods when Futuro goes to save them. He runs into Nino, but he forgot he has a wig on, which makes her think it's the boy from the photo. Instead of just coming clean and taking the wig off, he decides to carry on the lie like, bro, this is
Stop,
decision.
bro,
You're
stop.
supposed to be a genius. After a bunch of
Stop,
steps,
twin.
that Nino is low-key starting to fall for handsome Futuro, especially after Futuro saves her from almost falling off a cliff. Itsuki catches back up with Nino and they all go back to the dorms. Whilst Ichika and Futuro are clearing out the logs for the campfire, Ichika asks him whether they should practice what dance they are gonna do together, when bro just comes out and says that they should cancel the dance. Ichika bursts into tears and damn, this guy is more oblivious than me. It really gets to a point where you gotta start questioning his IQ. Why is it always that people who are really book smart lack people skills? Like, it must be a trade-off, some Full Metal Alchemist shit, like equivalent exchange, you know? The whole commotion ends up causing them to get stuck together in a shed. So Futuro tells each
Alright. Bathroom.
Ichika to climb on his shoulder to try and find a way to unlock the door. It seems like Ichika does really like Futuro, but doesn't want to pursue it because she feels bad for Miku, W big sister. After they have a heart-to-heart, and Ichika explains that she might take some time away from school to focus on her acting career, this log almost
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That rod shit is going. I'm not forgetting, but I'm bopping it. That shit popped on my feet like 4 or 5 times, bro. That shit popped on my feet like 6 times. I said, damn, this little nigga got something.
falls on her and causes the alarm to go off. But right as it's about to alert the security, Nino and Miku open the shed door to catch them drenched all over each other like, yo. This is bad looks. If this was me, I'd add 1+1 and believe whatever the hell I wanted. Fast forward to the next day. Call me crazy, but Yotube is actually super fun to be around. Like, I feel like every day would be hella enjoyable. Off topic, but seeing them skiing reminds me of this time I tried to ski in Japan. Quick story time with Unk. We were at this mountain in front of Mount Fuji and my dumbass almost died. I thought skiing was gonna be light work, but it was anything but light. I decided to go down this beginner slope and wiped out 4 times in a row before putting the skis down. My black ass should have known better. I fell down so hard. When I stood up, this Japanese lady was looking at me like she saw a ghost. Whilst running away from Yotsuba and Nino during tag, he runs into Miku, who's hiding away as they have their little moment. And why is Itsuki aura farming? Ah yes, the sun-kissed hair in the air technique. I haven't had to use that one since OG Dragon Ball. She's just like me for real. Futuro leaves Miku, so she calls Itsuki and proposes the greatest idea of all time.
Futuro has 2 hands, right? So we can both hold hands with him.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
Ain't none wrong with a little polygamy. Sharing is caring after all. Each gang going for that though. When they all meet up to look for Itsuki, who's in the mountains perfecting her aura farming techniques, they all worried she got lost or maybe even got hurt when Futaro locks in and realizes what happened. He takes Ichika up the gondola to scope out the whole ski resort, but it was all part of his plan as he pulls down Ichika's hood to reveal that it's Itsuki. Well, I'll be damned. This is the second time he managed to recognize her, and for a split second, when he put his head on her shoulder, I really thought this was it. Itsuki x Futaro was the endgame all along. But nah, bro's on 2 HP because he caught the flu from, you guessed it, Raiha. The mastermind behind it all. She planned every single detail just so she could further enforce the Itsuki x Futaro ship. I'm telling you guys, I'm onto something. She is a Yuichi Katagiri level manipulator. If you know, you know. They take him to the infirmary, which causes him to miss the end of the trip. Ichika and Miku have a talk as she finally comes to terms with liking Futaro. Itsuki and Yotsuba feel bad for putting him under so much stress and blame themselves for him getting ill. So they all decide to sneak into his room and spend the remainder of the trip together with him. How cute. He ends up cutting over to an older version of Raiha, delivering Futaro his ring for his wedding with one of the quintuplets, and I'm trying to tell you guys, this Raiha being the mastermind behind the QQ verse is gonna turn out to be true. I'm never wrong, just early. And man, seeing the bride as an anime only first time watcher back in the day had me ready to bet my left testicle on the fact that it was gonna be either Miku or Itsuki. Narratively speaking, in season 1, those two choices made the most sense. I don't know, hindsight obviously says otherwise, and you know, it actually does make sense narratively, especially when you go back and do your rewatch. But still, if it was me personally, I would have picked all 5. I'm joking guys, maybe not, I don't know. I did agree to drop my own personal tier list at the end of this video, and this is honestly harder than picking which college I wanted to attend. This is for the entirety of the show, so unless I end up covering season 2 and the movie, it won't make too much sense. But I got Miku at the 1, Itsuki at the 2, Yotsuba at the 3, Nino at the 4, and Ichika at the 5. I know the Nino and Ichika defenders are not gonna be happy and might even try to catch me lacking IRL, but you gotta see it from my POV. I really hate betrayal and being lied to. Like, I got people in my real life that lied to me like once or twice, and even though I forgave them, you know, it still crosses my mind every now and again. Like, it's low-key bad. Like, I think I might have trust issues or something, I don't know. Anyways, follow my Instagram so I can